very pleasant Friday noon, lunchtime, afternoon, too early to not be drinking preview of the Bears and the Cardinals on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Sitting in for Will DeWitt, that's right, yours truly, at the Carm on Twitter, at the Carm in your heart, with my favorite, Nicholas Moreano, looking so damn good with his Jordan 1s in the background. It is a Bears Brother Friday, the Audible Friday with your Uncle Carm. That's right, Irv. Carm is here. Don't you fear. This is going to be the best Friday show in the history of December 22nd, 2023. By the way, Greg Braggs is producing, and we're going to try to learn something from Greg at some point along the show. There he is, my
Hello,
guy.
everybody.
Friends with all my enemies.
You said it was too early to drink, but I do have
ready to go.
A giant bottle of whiskey.
I'm going myself with the Topo Chico today.
Is that alcohol? That's not alcohol.
No, that would be you don't know Topo Chico? Really?
No, I don't know. Do I look like a guy that would know what Topo Chico is?
It's mineral water, Greg. It's not.
You would have mineral water.
It's delicious. Dom Perignon, I know, is your drink over there in Brick by Brick Land. All right, Nick, we're gonna preview this game like it's never been previewed before. We're gonna start with the offense, but I do want to start with a shout out to the one Caitlin Sharkey, Jared Payton, Chris Bowden, the WGN TV sports team. Caitlin specifically sitting down with Justin Fields. Justin saying that, hey, he just wants to be basically remembered if his time in Chicago ends as a first-class dude, as a guy who gave it his all, as a guy who gave back to the fans. He said 1,000 times in the interview that he loves Chicago. Jared, at the end of it, after he watched it, talking to all of us via the TV, started crying basically how much he loves Justin Fields. Were you crying at home, Nick?
I wouldn't say I was crying at home, but I think, just hearing Justin Fields work, I was touched, definitely touched. I think for Justin Fields, I mean, a lot of the questions and a lot of the speculation is like, is his time done in Chicago, and how he wants to be remembered is not really what he's done on the football field, but just a person, the impact that he's made on so many different lives. He knows he has a unique platform that not many have, and he just wants to touch, everybody that he gets an opportunity to meet throughout his, time playing quarterback. But yeah, it was a good interview. Good job by Caitlin Sharkey to get that one-on-one with Justin Fields, but him opening up and just kind of, again, just expressing his emotions on the current situation that he's in. 3 games left for the Chicago Bears in this 2023 regular season. A lot of unknowns going in the future here.
Well, that's the standout for me outside, because listen, I knew before the interview. I will know after the interview. I'll know tomorrow. I'll know whenever. And there's a graphic Greg is putting up on the YouTube show. If you're listening online, it's the quote graphic says, "Wherever I end up, whether it's here or somewhere else next year, just know that I've given it my all." Justin Fields, which is all that you could really ask from anyone in any corner of life. And I actually just felt a touch of emotion reading that myself. So, look, what stood out to me was that, and he said this, but just hearing it from him, that he doesn't know how this is going to turn out. Mm-hmm. He could be here. He might not be here. So he is living in this, which professional athlete making millions of dollars. He'll make millions of dollars here, or he'll make it in Atlanta or wherever it is. And he's going to get to play a kid's game, which he's earned the right to do. So there doesn't need to be any pity party here for Justin. But aside from that, it is the reality that, like, yeah, I've put my heart and soul into this city and developed a connection with this city, and I don't know if I'm going to be in this city. It's not up to me.
Yeah, it's just honesty from Justin Fields. And look, nobody knows what's going to end up happening, and I think that's the reality of the situation. Justin knows that, and I think that's why, like, I know some people think like, these last 3 games don't matter. Like maybe, Ryan Poles and Matty, they've all made their minds up. I don't know if that's the case at this point. There's still so much time to make that decision. So for Justin, he's always, and he's said this many, many times, he can control what he can control. That's what he's going to do to play out the rest of this regular season. Then whatever ends up happening, Justin Fields is a resilient guy. I mean, you look how it ended up in Georgia and then had to go to Ohio State. So it's not like this would be something new if it does end up happening for Justin Fields. But I'm not going to lie, like it would stink for me, someone who's always appreciated Justin Fields' game and still thinks, he can do more. It would be kind of a letdown not seeing number one in the Bears uniform next season if that's the path that the Bears go.
Yeah, and to your point on do they know what they're going to do? Do they not know what they're going to do? How much does the last 3 games mean in the season? I would like to think that the Bears actually know what they're going to do, that they have watched Justin for 3 years and they know exactly who he is and they know exactly where their shortcomings have been in supporting him. And they have a pretty damn good idea who Drake May and or Caleb Williams is. So whether Fields, quote unquote, balls out against the Cardinals and the Falcons and the Packers and or even lays an egg, if you're deciding to move forward, like you're not, I would think these 3 games would have 3% in the decision of what they're going to do. I would think, the guy, his talent. You've seen him in the locker room. You've seen him on the field. You've seen him in the boardroom. You've seen him walking off the field yesterday and singing. What was the song they were singing walking off the field yesterday in that Bears video? With the one horse right? Open sleigh, all the fields we run, laughing all the way, ha ha ha. Braggs, you want to sing the rest of it? You probably wrote that song. So
no, I don't.
Okay, thank you. At any rate, my point is that I would like to think that they know, and I think logically, I would think they do, but maybe they're just. You're having such a tough decision, Ryan Poles is, that he is really like, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to get offered. I don't know if Carolina's going to get the number 1 pick. I mean, I'm saying that they know with the assumption that we have the number 1 pick, which the Saints losing to the Rams last night, the strength of schedule did float a little bit towards the Bears' way that right now Carolina has to win 2 games of their last 3 to not be the number 1 overall. So at any rate, that which is a good thing, but a very quickly, small percentage.
Mark, yeah, I think so. I think they know what Justin Fields is capable of on the football field, but I don't know if they know. They can't know at this point Caleb Williams, Drake May, the person yet, and we know how much that goes into Ryan Poles' decision making. I mean, you pass up on guys like George Pickens and guys like that in the draft process because something didn't click there. So even though like the talent's there, I think there is a component of it to where it needs a fit from the character issue. And I think that, talent can overweigh some of those things. You look at Jalen Carter, they obviously didn't take a guy like that. So, I think you can wait out to the end of this regular season and you don't have to have a decision quite yet right now. You can be leaning in a direction, but I don't know if one ultimately needs to be set by Ian Cunningham, Ryan Poles, that, okay, it doesn't matter how these 3 games end up. We already have our decision. We already know what direction we're going. But yeah, I'm still, again, that's why we're previewing this, 1 of 3 games against the Cardinals, and we'll continue to do so. But I don't know if it's quite there yet.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, if it is there, they ain't telling us, so we can all live in the unknown.
No.
Yes, Greg.
Well, I was just gonna add, Albert Breer was talking about where he thought Drake May stacks up with the prospects here over the last couple of years. And this is from Albert Breer. He said the universal answer I got was Trevor Lawrence would have been number 1, Caleb Williams 2, Drake May 3, which puts him ahead of both of last year's quarterbacks. And so we don't know what Ryan Poles is thinking, whether he wants to keep Fields or draft either one of these rookie quarterbacks at 1 or 2. But that's where I've tried to emphasize to Bears fans, you got to leave all these scenarios open for discussion because they're all on the table, and it's not, it's not the ideal situation. We all wanted Justin Fields to work out here, but this is what it's going to be over the next few months. And I would just caution Bears fans to keep an open mind, no matter which way you're leaning. That's going to be the defining decision in Ryan Poles' tenure. So it should be interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, the first domino obviously is going to be Matt Eberflus. When we get to Black Monday, are we keeping Flus or are we not keeping Flus? If you are going with Caleb, you would think that you'd be much more likely to Get rid of Matt, get rid of Luke, start fresh, do it right the first time. And I think Ryan, it's not complete fresh because I don't think Ryan's going anywhere, but that would be the logical play there. If Luce is staying and then Getsy's out, that's the next domino that would fall. And then after that, it'll inform you what's coming. Now, if they keep them both, to me, it's pretty obvious that Justin's staying. So we'll see. All right, let's preview this one, Nick. And we start on the offensive side of the ball. Let me hear your offensive keys to this fine football game with the Arizona Cardinals. The Bears and Cardinals first played, Nick, in 1920. That is 5 years before my 98-year-old father was born in 1925, who, by the way, dominated at Marshall High School, was back to punt. He also was the linebacker and was the kicker, but he was back to punt. Bad snap from center. It wasn't from Patrick Scales. He had to pick it up off the wet ground, and he took it back 107 yards for a touchdown as Marshall beat Harrison 7-0. So that game happened 5 years before Fred Carman was born. Shout out to Freddie, who's hanging in there at 98. Just had his birthday. It's fun to talk about my dad for a second.
All right, birthday.
There we go. Now, okay, offensive keys. Go for it, brother. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the first thing that the Bears need to do against this Cardinals team is try to commit to the run game, you guys. And I think when you have a Cardinals team that's currently ranked 31st in the most rushing yards given up this season, it's going to be a good opportunity to do that. And the San Francisco 49ers were able to take advantage of that matchup last week. Again, a really good offensive line. You have Christian McCaffrey, you have a really good offense, Kyle Shanahan, and things like that. But I think the Bears are going to be set up to attack some of the edges in this matchup, Mark. And really the last couple of games, the Bears had the rushing attack hasn't really been there as much as it was early on in the season. So I think this is going to be a nice bounce back game for not only the Bears running backs, even Justin Fields, to really get that running game going, kind of get the linebackers sucked in to the line of scrimmage, and hopefully you can get some play action off of that. But I think it's a good opportunity for this Bears offense. Get the rushing attack going. Give Roschon Johnson some carries in this game. And if you could do that, I think you're going to see a little bit more of this passing game open up, which wasn't the case on a rainy day in Cleveland last week, where the Bears didn't get the ground game going. Offense was non-existent really all game. Put themselves in bad situations where they were in a bunch of 3rd and longs because they couldn't succeed on first down. So when I just look at the Cardinals and not a lot of defenders really stand out, it'd be a good game to commit to the run game and get that going early on.
Cardinals are 31st in the NFL defending the run. They've also given up the 31st most points of anyone in the NFL, 26.9. Justin's talked about he wants to put up 28 a game with the Bears defense. I actually think the Bears offense is going to bust out today. We'll get to our bold predictions coming up. There's a slight hint from me. But look, when you talk about the running game, what's most interesting to me, Khalil Herbert has not looked healthy since he came back to the field after the, pretty significant ankle injury. And then, Deontay Foreman had a rough game last week going backwards, and a lot of that had to do, obviously, with the Browns defense, but did not look like himself. And I think we're all enjoying what Roschon is bringing to the table, but we also are becoming more and more aware, at least I am, I think most people are, that this is not some shifty back who's going to make you miss. He's going to straight line runner, going to run you over if he can hit the hole and is physical. But I'm actually just kind of eager or hopeful to see Khalil get back to doing what he was doing. We haven't seen it in a long time now.
Yeah, and it's been interesting how they've been kind of utilizing each of the backs. There's not one guy kind of taking over games, especially last week. It was pretty close in terms of the carries that each guy had throughout the Browns game. But I think that's, at first I think it was a strength for this Bears offense because you can give it to each guy and, they can each kind of have their own drive. But now I'm almost looking at it as a weakness. Like, who are you going to when you need to have, those yards gained? And, Roschon Johnson has the lead when it comes to pass blocking, but none of the guys, you put Kari Blasingame in that as well, did not have a good game pass blocking against the Browns. So I think we need to see one of these guys kind of take over, like we saw with a little bit with Deontay Foreman when he filled in for Khalil Herbert, was the kind of the bell cow, kind of carried the rock. But yeah, the running backs, again, this is just going to be a good opportunity for them, whatever guy that the Bears decide to go with on each drive to really get some good yardage. Obviously, you're going to have probably the same starting lineup that finished the game against the Browns, with Tevin Jenkins still dealing with concussion, with Cody Whitehair in there at guard. So got to factor that in as well. But still, I like the Bears' chances to be efficient in the rushing attack.
Okay, so you just brought up one of my offensive keys with Tevin most likely out and Cody stepping in. First off, I'd like to quibble with it. Play Ja'Tyre Carter. Cody Whitehair's had a great career here, decade plus, been a great soldier. I suppose the Whitehair family can enjoy being him out there one more time, and I'm not even saying that he doesn't deserve a nice ending, because he does. But you're 5-9, all right? Your chance of making the playoffs is next to nothing. Play the young guy. That doesn't, Matt Eberflus playing guys to make himself look good versus development. I'm not saying he's doing exactly that, but I mean, let's go. I don't know. I'm not saying to overdo playing young guys. Like, we don't need to play Dom Rob ahead of Montez Sweat to see what he can do the rest of the way here. But when you have an injury like Tevin, and you have a Ja'Tyre Carter who every time he gets an opportunity seems to do fine to me, well, I don't know why you wouldn't want him out there.
That's actually a good point, Mark. And Matt Eberflus talked about it. He loves playing the young guys. So he was asked about that. And I wonder at this point, obviously Ja'Tyre Carter knows the offense, but do the Bears just feel more comfortable with a veteran like Cody Whitehair being the guy there? And maybe still trying to evaluate what gives the offense the best overall chance instead of putting the young guy. It's a good question, because I think Ja'Tyre Carter does deserve some reps. I found out he's a huge Marvel guy. He was just sitting there and we were just talking, chatting, Spider-Man, things like that. But yeah, I think the times that he has had a chance to play, he's done his assignment. So when you're playing, when you're playing a defense that doesn't have as many threats as, let's say, a Cleveland, he has a better opportunity to succeed as a whole with the unit. So it's a good point that you bring up there, Mark.
Yeah. I also think the running backs can get the ball out of the backfield a bunch. I was watching the Cardinals game with the Niners, and dudes are just running open. Arizona's defense, I mean, we gave you the numbers and all that, but this is an opportunity to they've been in the middle as far as defending the pass, but I mean, there was just some confusion in that defense that leads me to think that you're going to have some guys are going to have some career days here. Again, we'll get to that in our bold predictions, which is coming up here. Anything else on the offense, Nick?
Yeah, I think too, like, we didn't also see a lot of explosive plays against Cleveland. There were some missed opportunities with the Robert Tonyan play. There was a screen to Roschon Johnson that's been circulating on social media where the Bears have it blocked up well, but it doesn't quite hit for whatever reason. There was a shot to Mooney in the inside slot fade that didn't connect. I think, like what you were just saying, Mark, the Arizona Cardinals defense has been a little leaky, and I would expect, just based off of watching these corners, there's going to be some double moves ran by either DJ Moore or Darnell Mooney that's going to get some of these guys to bite, and you can create some vertical, explosive plays on those kind of concepts. So good game. Again, establish the run early so you can create some of those explosives. I think that's going to bode well for the Bears in this matchup.
Greg, before we move off the offense, would you like to throw in a key, my friend? Or are you just hanging out over there?
I'm just hanging out. So no, I would not. I want the key to the game is I don't like Bears fans are gonna hate me. I don't care, but I want the Bears. I don't want the Bears to win. So my key to the game is give the ball to the other team. I don't give a shit. Like all right. Could they finish on a strong note? Don't tell Cole Kmet I said this. I want them to finish on a strong note. Sure, there's a part of me that's fine. If they win out and win 8 games, fine, because then I can give Carm shit about my 9-win prediction and saying I'm not that far off. But what's best for the Bears? I mean, we're kind of back after they lost to the Browns. We're just kind of back to where I was at the end of last year, where I'm like, hey guys, like we have an opportunity for, an offseason that can really change the trajectory of the future of this franchise. And while I love winning the battles, I want to win the war. So if they lose this game, I really have no issue, but I think they're going to win this game as I skip ahead to our predictions at the end, but I think they will win it. So I don't have any keys because I want them to lose.
Greg, I want to remind you, I'm a professional and we have a rundown. and this is the offensive keys. And you need to follow.
And that's not. I'm producing. I don't do keys.
No.
You guys do keys.
No. That's. First of all, stop picking your nose on camera. Second of all,
you disgusting sloth.
Second of all, you don't pigeonhole yourself into producer. Producers pay attention on the show. Most of them
I'm doing things.
Yeah, I'm sure you're super busy over there. Okay, that'll end our offensive key segment. Greg, you have 7 minutes to come up with a defensive key. So work hard on that. As I tell you about our friends at Ray Chevy. God, I love our friends at Ray Chevy. Our partner, Ray Chevrolet, they're having their biggest sale of the year right now. Make your way. I'll go with you to Ray Chevrolet on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Join in on the savings for their model year-end sales event. One of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. That's where you're going to. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicago's largest Chevy inventories. Right now, they are trying to make room for the incoming 2024 models, so current inventory must go, so it's a great time to get on up there if you're looking for a little bit of extra value. Find the perfect tailgate vehicles at Ray Chevy. They've got 100 new Silverados in stock, which is, people love the Silverado, so that's also something to consider. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments until spring of 2024, or you could save $3,000 on a new Chevy Blazer, $4,000 on an Equinox, or over $10,000 on a Silverado. Top all that off, they're pricing over 125 vehicles under $20,000. Now we're talking my price range here. Seriously, pricing is not going to get any more affordable than that. And I know everyone loves the word free. That's you, Nick. And that's what you get this month at Ray Chevy in Fox Lake. It's a free oil change. All you got to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change online or on the phone. So listen, if you're listening to the show, you want to support us, call up Ray Chevy, get a free oil change, go hang out, see Ray, tell him you love the show. It's awesome. So, but you better hurry. This exclusive offer does end on December the 31st, which is a little over a week away. For those not doing the math, visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com to get your model year-end savings. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
I need to actually just had the little notification on my car go on. It says I do need a oil change. So Mark, you're gonna go with me because you said you're gonna go with people if we.
I'll go with you, Nick. I'll go with you, okay. Nick. And by the way, someday if you own your own business and you get yourself an electric vehicle, you won't need to get an oil change. It's getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles, Nick. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
That's exactly right, Mark. And the electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
Which is a beautiful thing. So what should business owners do?
Here's what they do, Mark. They can go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you just say ComEd.com/clean?
That's exactly right, Mark. You can go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
There we go. All right. Let's shout out to our friends at ComEd doing the good work here as we move along to the defensive keys. Bears and Cardinals, $3.25 kickoff prices are falling. Hit up the Game Time Ticket app, another one of our fine partners here if you want to get in for a nice Soldier Field extravaganza. But all right, Nick, kick us off here. Defensive keys. What are you looking for?
The first one, Mark, is just defending extended plays. And I say that because Joe Flacco, out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, was able to capitalize when he was able to extend plays against the Bears in that win over Chicago just last week. And Kyler Murray, although he hasn't played hasn't been great since returning from injury, he's definitely a guy that can extend plays, move around the pocket, find guys downfield. So really, I think this is going to come down to the Bears learning from what hurt them last week with and not really a mobile guy in Joe Flacco, and going the exact opposite way with Kyler Murray, because this is a guy that it's going to take, the collective rushing unit to bring him down, because he will run around. He will make you guys shift direction and try to find receivers downfield. So the Bears just need to show that they've learned from that matchup last week and not allow some of those explosive plays, because the quarterback was able to kind of drift back in the pocket or leak out a little bit and then find guys downfield. So really just defending extended plays is going to be one of the huge keys for the defense this week on Sunday.
All right. I'll give you the next key. The next key is don't be a freaking idiot. 212 yards in the fourth quarter, sending Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, leaving Justin Jones in some weird position where he's got to guard David Njoku, trying to prove you're the smartest guy or the most aggressive guy in the room. Don't do that again, Matt Eberflus. It needs to be underlined that the Flus got outside of himself last week, and the locker room was not happy about it in any way, shape, or form. Nick, you were there. You saw, So just on a very basic level, I'm calling it back to basics. Let the defense the defense is good enough right now that you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You can rush 4 now. One of my favorite rushes last week, Montez Sweat darts inside, takes on one of the interior linemen, pushes his way in as DeMarcus Walker's coming around the left, and then just gets off of that blocker and then annihilates Joe Flacco. It's like, we haven't had a player like that since Khalil Mack. And I would even say that because Sweat's just bigger than Mack. It's just been so much fun to watch him play. So back to basics.
I like that a lot, Mark. And again, they got outside themselves. And like you said, there are a lot of defensive players that just didn't agree with the call or how it was, played or how it was executed ultimately in the end there against Cleveland. Another key for this one is just watch out for Trey McBride, the tight end. He was a guy that caught 10 passes last week against 49ers for 102 yards. And, he's a 5th-round pick out of Colorado in 2022. And he leads the team in receiving for the Cardinals with 712 and also receptions. And, that's been the one guy right now that Kyler Murray can kind of count on, whether it's third down situations or, if he just needs to kind of have a play. He's looking to Trey McBride's way. And right now it looks like Marquise Brown, the wide receiver, he's not going to be able to go for Sunday's matchup. So I think there's going to even be more of an emphasis to get this guy involved. And he was able to get some big plays against those good linebackers that the 49ers have. So it's going to be a good matchup for Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, who have shown the last couple of weeks that they've been pretty good in coverage. So a big test for them. And it looks like that's Kyler Murray's guy. So watch out for Trey McBride.
Yeah, our guy in the chat, Leon Fanarana, he's echoing some things that I've heard people about Trey McBride being hella crucial for him in fantasy. I was talking to someone today who was debating between playing Trey McBride and or David Montgomery this weekend. And, that's a tough call, obviously, because, you would think, as Gary Ross is pointing out, that the Bears would be able to slow him down with Tremaine Edmonds. But the Bears against tight ends this year have given up a ton. They're in the tight ends, whatever the metric is, it's like 100.3 or whatever. It's way up there. We have not defended tight ends well all season long. So, and McBride was targeted 11 times last week, as you said. Nick, he had 10 catches. So that's a key guy. James Conner's obviously another key guy. Cardinals like to run the ball. You can delve further into it, but Conner has burst. He's got some physicality to him. This is, the Bears are gonna have to deal with him big time on Sunday.
Yeah, right now the Cardinals are 7th in the league in rushing yards per game, 131.8. That's 2 slots behind, the Bears right now. And James Conner obviously leads the team with 717 yards, has 143 carries, 5 touchdowns. The backup running back, though, against the 49ers last week, and his last name, DeMercado, a really good touchdown run against a pretty stout 49ers interior defense, was able to kind of get through one of the lanes and burst up the middle for a 49-yard gain. So takes it to the house. So, you can't, like, the Bears have been stout stopping the run all season long. This cannot be the game where you have some of these leaks happen, some of these bigger gains, or just allow the Cardinals to stay ahead of the chains, much like what the Bears want to do this week. So it's going to be a test, but I think the Bears are equipped, again, from their defensive line, how they play defense, their linebackers, seeing Jaquan Brisker come up and run support. They're equipped to stop what the Cardinals want to do in the ground. But again, they were able to pop off some nice things against the 49ers last week.
And for more on Amari DiMercado, the rookie out of TCU, we turn to Greg Braggs, who has a full breakdown of DiMercado.
Yes, I do. Will is sitting at home just shaking his head in shame at what me and Carm's doing a very good job. I am completely
hey, listen,
my defensive key to the game. Shut up, Carm. My defensive key to the game is I need to see Justin Jones lined up with every wide receiver. We need to get better at that play, guys. If we're gonna run it, we got to get better at it. And if Justin's got to use his leverage or stay, these are the things that I'm going to be looking for. So Eberflus, dial up more defensive tackles on Trey McBride, even put him on a wide receiver, put him on an island out there, shift him out, and let's see what he's got. Hey, maybe that'll help your leverage with Jalen Johnson. You go, hey, we got another guy that can, help in coverage, drive your price down a little bit, Jalen.
You know what Justin Jones isn't doing, though? What Jalen Johnson did in the locker room? He's giving out wings, you guys. DeMarcus Walker had catered wings brought to Hallis Hall for all the players. Then Jalen Johnson comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey, you guys, there's some lemon pepper wings. You guys want some? So some of the media took some lemon pepper wings. Mark Potash was not very happy that we did that, but I don't know if Justin Jones.
Well, and I heard Jalen Johnson gave everyone PlayStation 5s. Have you heard this story, Nick?
I did not receive a PlayStation 5, so that's.
I know. Well, apparently, I don't know if it's like the whole secondary or the whole defense, but yeah, as a Christmas gift, he gave everyone PlayStation 5. So that leads us to know what Carm got all of us for Christmas, and me and Nick are hoping it's a PlayStation 5.
I got you nothing but my love, but you have that, but. Since you side turned the show here and didn't.
But you got Hogue a bottle of wine or whiskey or whatever you got him. You don't get us anything.
Hogue's my daddy. That's because
Hogue's my daddy.
He had us over for a party. I haven't been invited to a party at your house except for the cul-de-sac summer experience.
Yeah.
Amari DiMercado, Greg, just so you know, undrafted free agent. Out of TCU, started at junior college, made his way like a guy that, I don't know, an underrated dude, like, I don't know, the guy that's on this show that used to be a bricklayer. He came out of Saddleback Community College, which is in California, and made his way to the NFL. It's a great story. You should pay attention to DiMercado on Sunday. But and since you sidetracked,
and I was wrong. It was Eddie Jackson that got everybody PlayStation 5s, not Jalen. I apologize. The chat was helping me out there.
Yeah. Since you sidetracked the show, I should say one thing. I went to Bulls Lakers the other night, and the Lakers, top of the NBA, did not skimp on the food. Most, a lot of teams, they have like, they'll do the standard like Lou Malnati's. You're in Chicago, whatnot. The Lakers had Joe's Stone Crab, huge spread, lobster, steak, asparagus, mac and cheese, all this laid out. Beautiful fillets. But they had in the locker room before they went into the hallway as they're headed to the bus to get their food to go to the bus, they had Harold's Chicken Shack. So you got all this fried bird is in there. And the Lakers, LeBron included, are all taking a nice to-go of Harold's. And they're walking by Joe Stone. And I'm sitting there watching this like, y'all are leaving that filet right there. You're leaving that mac and cheese. You're leaving that lobster. So, I was going to head home, but I was like, well, I'll wait for this spread to, be completely left. And then, yes, I tore apart the Joe Stone. And I've got some in the fridge right now that I'm going to have for, post-game meal here. So thank you to the LA Lakers for not knowing which food to take on their way out of Chicago, with all due respect to Harold's, which is excellent. But yes, you can have a Harold's pregame, but you don't walk by Joe's. Like a couple wings, great. I'm in. I get it. Come on, it's Harold's. It's legendary. But you don't pass the Joe Stone. But I know you're an NBA player. You eat that stuff all the time. I guess it's not a big deal for us. Bottom of the barrel people. We see Joe's. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Need to get some all right,
yeah. All right, defensive keys. So listen, the Bears gave up 212 yards in the fourth quarter. All right, and part of that was on the coaching and some aggressiveness that didn't need to be. And it's impossible, or it feels wrong, to even call out the secondary. But look, with the amount of pressure that we're getting up front here, the last week Kyler was picked off 2 more times. The Bears should eat once again in that secondary. They've got 12 interceptions in the last 4 games. That's the most in the NFL. So you don't need to do anything more than what they've been doing, but I want to see more of the same, because they've
I agree.
I think you can just say that this is something that the Bears defense does now.
Yeah, I think that they don't need to get outside themselves. You play what you've been playing, what's been working. It's just going to be how they, on extended plays. I really do believe that's going to be, again, a test for this Bears defense. They show that they've learned from those mistakes. They'll be just fine, because other than that fourth quarter where some of those explosive plays happened, the Bears defense was cooking. Let's be completely honest. They were feeling good about that game up until that last quarter. So they need to finish. I think finishing on both sides of the ball are keys that we can also throw in here, because that's been something that the Bears have been really inconsistent with up to this point in the season.
Yeah, and look, I want Jalen Johnson to get a contract extension. Gary Ross does too, somewhere deep inside Gary Ross. He would love to see that happen too. But as far as playing young players go, give me more Terrell Smith on the field. I've enjoyed what I've seen there. He hasn't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he's shown a physicality to him. He's shown most times, it seems to me, that he's in the right place and has a good sense of where to be. I haven't seen quite the level that we've seen, obviously, from Tyreek Stevenson, who's made some unbelievable plays as of late, covering 2 guys and picking the right option, getting himself a pick. I mean, this is a big time come up for 29. But I'm interested to see more Terrell the rest of the way here, to further muddy the decision with Jalen, which, again, I'd like to see him signed, but you got to prepare for the future. And if you are going to do what Ryan Poles has done in the past, which is set a number on a guy and not just whatever the deals, just get the deal done, then you want to see. I'd like to see a little bit more before I feel completely comfortable with, or even closer to before I get more comfortable that I'm going to have to go out and sign a free agent to replace Jalen if he leaves.
Yeah, I liked how the Bears have actually handled that. Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith. At first, I'm like, why are you taking out Tyreek Stevenson when he's been getting some of these plays? But every so drives, they'll kind of flip flop the guys to kind of stay in that drive. And I think it's good experience for both of them. And I think Terrell Smith, he was in on that play, that deep touchdown to Amari Cooper, and John Hoke did a phenomenal job kind of explaining what he needs to do next time in his press conference, kind of demonstrating he has to wait for the play to come to him. I want to see Terrell Smith be in that same exact situation again, and hopefully learn from that mistake, maybe make the interception next time. And that only can come if you're in the game. So I like how they're approaching Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith, kind of taking them out in each drive.
All right, Nick, before we get to bold predictions and whatnot, any other defensive keys you'd like to underline?
Not any more defensive keys, but I do want to highlight Midtown Athletic, if that's all right with you there, Mark. And I know you're a guy that loves to go there.
Well, yeah, I was gonna actually have myself do that one, because I was there last night and flipped you on the thing. If you can you handle that, Nick? Can you do that? Because I was there last night. I was there last night, and I put out an unbelievable underlining of my tennis talents on my Instagram at the Carm 23. And I mean, 3 weeks ago at the Midtown Athletic Club, the backhand just wasn't there. But now that I'm, working in my adult class and getting the footwork down that I thought I knew but didn't really have, things are just turning up. in ways that I just did not think was possible. So I'd like to say thank you, honestly, to the Midtown Athletic Club. And yes, there are 4 Chicagoland locations. I was at Bannockburn in the North Shore last time, but you can go to Palatine in the northwest suburbs. You can go to Willowbrook in the southwest suburbs. You can go to the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park, where Greg Bragg stayed at their hotel and had a wonderful time. Didn't you, Gregory? Midtown Palatine, by the way, has launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be complete in early 2024. Listeners, by the way, you guys can lock in favorable rates if you join before the end of the year, so get after that. Something for everyone in Midtown: singles, family with kids, people looking to make some lifestyle changes, holistic wellness, those of us who are trying to take the tennis game up to the next level, yoga, boxing, spin, cycling, cross-training, group exercise, high-intensity interval training, all of it. And it's just it's a country club, man. The place is phenomenal. Best tennis courts, programming in the sport. Go over right now to midtown.com/CHGO, midtown.com/CHGO. You can find out more. Take a tour, the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you. Just check it out. Spend a day, hang out, have some food, drink a smoothie, live the dream. It's our friends at Midtown Athletic Club.
Man, I feel bad that I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's sweet. When I stayed at the hotel, and I did have a very lovely time there. We did some yoga and did some different things with my wife, and they have a store there. Check this out from Midtown Athletic. Look at that. Picked up this shirt. It says Midtown. Like that?
Man, wow, you get it all there.
You like that?
You got to come in, Nick. We need you.
It's good stuff. Yep. It's a great spot.
I'll definitely have to check it out. But you also have to check out, everybody, Empire. With Empire today, you can get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low-price guarantee. And Empire today is the best place to get new flooring. And so, of course, they have copycats. They always want to try to emulate, the best people in their area. But they can't beat Empire on the quality, service, speed. So they advertise these low-quality products that they simply won't carry, you guys. So they won't promise the lowest prices, because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that, we wouldn't put in theirs. So what they also do, they can keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Empire's philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. And what they leave out on the selection floor is important because that's what they're going to put in. And they have their own virtual floor designer, which is pretty cool because it's a great way to see how these new floors will look in your home. It's easy. You just snap a picture and instantly you see how these floors will look in your space, whatever space you're trying to get new flooring. And you can actually schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
Love it. Shout out to our friends at Empire Today. Also, shout out to our head of content, Kevin Kaduk, turning, since he put it out, 45 years old today. He's putting up the MJ jersey. So still a baby, still running marathons, still getting it done, still leading us to the promised land at the tender young age of 45. Happy birthday,
Kevin.
Kev. Go, Kev.
Half
all
your age.
Okay. By the way, I forgot one key on defense. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Offensively.
Okay. Going back. What you got?
Well, they don't. Arizona does not get to the quarterback. All right. Mm-hmm. Cardinals hit Trey Lance once last week, one time in 28 dropbacks, and they didn't get him to the ground. Brock Purdy, excuse me. Did I say Trey Lance? Wow, that's amazing. They didn't hit Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold, who was in there for a cup of coffee too when Purdy did get hit on. He had to leave the field for a second, but he was hit once. So look, it should be Justin Fields should be running around thinking this is Christmas morning, even though it's only Christmas Eve. This should be a fun day for him. So just something on the line. I think Justin's going to have a lot of time to do some things here. All right, moving along. Here we go. Nick, thank you very much. Back on track. We go here to our X Factor bold prediction and who wins the game. Give me your X Factor to start.
Yeah, and I've been talking about this ad nauseum, I think, at this point on this show, but it is extended plays for both teams because Justin Fields can do it. How are the Cardinals going to adapt to that style of play and, not allow the Bears to have some of those explosives because he's going to get outside the pocket. How do they respond? Same thing with Kyler Murray and that Cardinals offense. They don't have a lot of weapons, but some of the big plays of Trey McBride happened when Kyler Murray was able to do that. And like I said earlier, the Bears did not show a good job of that against the Browns. So the X factor, who's better in that's a very specific area of the game at defending extended plays from both of these very athletic quarterbacks. So I think whichever team can handle that better on Sunday, will have a good chance of not only limiting explosive plays, but ultimately winning this game. So that's going to be my X factor. Who can handle those extended plays better?
Like it. I will go in a slightly different direction to one of the heroes at CHGO, and that, of course, is Cole Kmet, 85, popping up on the injury report this week with a calf issue. Cole Kmet is somebody who takes tremendous pride on being available and ready to play, but that calf to me does feel like a little bit of an X factor right now, and so it's not necessarily even a bold prediction, but it is time for Robert Tonyan to do something. The dude's got 7 catches. He's coming off a game where he dropped the ball that Nicholas Moreano would not drop in softball ever. Thank you very much. So if Cole can't go or is not 100%, which he's not, and it impacts him to the point that he's ineffective, it is time for the Tonyan to show the rest of the NFL that he's worthy on being on an NFL roster next year and make things a little bit easier out there for Justin. So, I go back to training camp, Nick. I've brought this up on the show a couple times this week. Robert Tonyan was streaking across the end zone in a tight window. Fields fires it to him. He sticks up his hand, makes an unbelievable one-handed catch. I'm like, this guy is going to help them. And I bet at the time, bold prediction early in the season, I said that Robert Tonyan would have more touchdown catches than Chase Claypool, and everybody laughed at me. Well, obviously that prediction was brilliant because I'm brilliant, but he still doesn't have it because he doesn't have one. Mm-hmm. So can you make me right in this prediction? Tonyan, my buddy, who's a great guy, by the way, and I like him a lot, but the production just has not been there this year. So if Cole is not 100%, which I don't think he will be, and if it proves to be too much of a struggle for him, I'm hoping that Robert can step up here.
Yeah, no, it's a good point because I think even on the play that, dropped what should have been a touchdown by Justin Fields there, he did everything right, but obviously the catch. He's able to get open, separate from the defender, get upfield to give Justin Fields an opportunity to throw that pass. So he does everything right except for, the last part, which, that also goes to show you, Mark, how much maybe training camp is almost meaningless because there are guys that, just excel in training camp, show consistently like, here, I can be the guy. And then you come to the season and, there's not much to show for it. And I think there are parts that do matter, but it is crazy how far things have changed for a guy like that.
Yep. And now trivia, by the way, because the Braggs has been so on fire today. Hey, Braggs, where did Robert Tonyan go to college?
Where did he go?
Didn't look. Now looking it up. You're ineffective and not listening, and you're out. There it is.
Hold on.
No, never mind.
Hold on. I'm gonna guess. All right. I know where he went to college.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Indiana State.
Good job.
I Googled
this is my new fun thing. Just it's like we're in class and I know he's not paying attention, and I just get to pick on things where I know he has.
I am so lucky. I've heard like schools now they make these kids put their phones in like this basket. If I had grown up, I had a hard enough time in school. If I had grown up during school with social media and the phone being what it is today, I would have got even worse grades, which really isn't possible.
Yeah. All right. Greg, since you've been so on top of your game today, would you like to give an X factor to this game or would you like us to move along? Okay, we'll move along.
We're moving along.
Yeah. All right, there it is. All right, Nick, bold prediction. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I thought, Eddie Jackson got his first interception of the season last week, almost returned it for a touchdown there, Mark. He was pretty close, and then it took about 8 plays for the Bears to finally score the touchdown from inside the 2. I think this week he gets a pick six, and Kyler Murray did get intercepted twice over the middle of the field. So I think there's going to be some opportunities for Eddie Jackson to make a big impact play. So my bold prediction for Sunday is that Eddie Jackson gets a pick six, kind of reminiscent of 2018 Eddie Jackson, but pick six for number 4.
All right. I am going in a different direction. I want you all to huddle around your computers, your phones, your whatever. I want you to hear this from good old at the Carm. His name is Justin Fields. And Justin Fields is still the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, the most yards he's ever thrown in one football game is 335 yards, which he did this season. Bears did not win that game. Justin Fields, for the first time in his career, is going to hit the 350 marker. 350 as the Bears put up 30 plus, and he's going to further add fuel to the discussion fire as to why QB1 should remain QB1. Fields' biggest game as a Bear is coming this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. Mark that shit down. Darnell Mooney's going over 100 yards. DJ's going to be there too. Apparently, I'll just lean into the Tunyon point that I just made, and Robert Tunyon's going to have himself a day damn ass too. But big day for Justin is coming. And TV17, my Tyson Bagent love is there, brother. Long career ahead. He's just gonna buy his time. This is Justin's time right now. We gotta be on the Fields choo-choo train right now. He's earned the right to play these games. Let's see what he's gonna do. He is going to have his biggest game that he's ever had in a Bear uniform. And Gary Ross, you're gonna be wrong about Darnell Mooney. He's gonna have his career high this year too. Mark that shit down. Fields career high day, Mooney season high day. Carms, you heard
Mark,
it here.
You come on this show, preview show, and like hot take, bold. I mean, that's as bold as it can be. I love it. And, I'll be there on Sunday at Soldier Field. So hopefully we see Justin Fields just light it up. Just make this game not a game by once you enter the third quarter. We know the victory is going to happen. That'd be great. And it'd be good for the Justin Fields discussion to continue just a week longer.
And now for Greg Braggs' bold prediction.
Leave me alone. All right. I'm working hard behind the scenes. You can't give a bold prediction. You can't give a bold prediction, Mr. I've got 7 thoughts in my head. Well, last week during the game, like my I got to feel the game. Like during the game, Nick, we were in studio and I had predicted that, I was predicting pick sixes pretty much the entire game. That. But then at halftime, I said they were going to get 2, and then Tremaine Edmonds got 1 right away. I thought maybe this was going to happen. So I'm good at this when the game's going on right now. I could just throw things at a wall, but I'm not going to waste the people's time here. They want to hear your guys' expert analysis.
Yeah, no one cares about you on this show. You're right. You're a non-factor on the Bears show. All right, just take yourself off the screen. All right, that's just silly. All right, Nick, who's winning on Sunday? What do you got?
The Bears are winning this one, Mark. I just look at a Cardinals team that's won, obviously only 3 games this season. This is not the caliber level of defense that Cleveland brought last week, and I think the Bears will be able to take advantage of that in this game. It is a 4-point spread, and I think, the Bears ultimately win this game 24-20, give up some of those explosive plays on defense, but ultimately take care of business. And if that bold prediction of yours comes to, play here, I think it's not going to be as close. But I do see the Bears winning this one 24-20.
I'm seeing around the expert land, most people are picking the Bears. Most people are picking a tight game. I'm actually in Adam Rank land. 31-14, baby. I think the Bears roll. And I think it becomes a party on the lakefront on Sunday with Arizona. That's what I got. Yes, Greg, would you like to give your
I'll do game predictions. I'll do game predictions. I've submitted mine to Kevin Kadick, our head of content. We'll have an article coming out with all of us because right now it's getting tight. We got 3 games to go, and we've got a lot of people tied at the very top of this leaderboard. I'm looking for back-to-back championships. I won last year, and I'll continue to remind everyone of that until I no longer have the throne. So I've got the Bears winning 28-17. I'm with you, Carm. I think they're gonna have a big day on the lakefront. It's supposed to be unseasonably warm. It's supposed to be like a high of 55 on Christmas Eve. Justin Fields' comments yesterday, I think, only add to that. Like he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder the rest of the year to not just prove to the organization what he's capable of, but show the rest of the NFL what he's capable of. And we'll have to wait and see what Ryan Poles decides at the end of the day. But there's no question after listening to that interview on WGN with Caitlin Sharkey, how much he understands what's on the line and what's to come. And so I think he is going to finish this season on a strong note. So as much as I said earlier that like, if you made me twist my arm and ask me what I think would be best for the Bears, like I get the sentiment that they need to continue to learn how to win and finish on a positive note, but man, those 2 top 5 picks are certainly enticing. And I do think they're going to win 2 of 3 or even 3 of 3 to finish the year. And that's going to push them all the way, their second pick, to like 15. And I'm greedy. I'm getting greedy as far as, the picks that I want. So can't control any of that. At the end of the day, they're both good scenarios if the Bears can finish on a strong note, or if they end up with 2 top 5 picks. I'm not going to fight either one. So I think the Bears are going to win this week, and I think they have some more wins ahead of them as they finish the season.
Well, look, as bold predictions and predictions and all that, it's a win-win for the Bears on Sunday as far as I'm concerned. They win, great, they're still in it. Fields plays well. Let's have all the discussions. If they lose, it's better for their draft pick. So I honestly, I will not be. I will.
It's a win-win. And this is a good matchup for them. And that's what we knew, like getting to the end of the year with 2 back-to-back home games against Arizona and Atlanta, 2 teams that are dome teams coming to Chicago this time of year. It played right into the Bears' hands to, have a playoff push in December, and they slipped on the banana peel too many times. And now we're talking about offseason stuff, and that's very disappointing. But that's just where they're at. But this is a good matchup. The Cardinals want to run the ball. That plays right into the Bears' hands. They're a great team at stopping the run. Their defense is flying all over the place. Yes, they gave up the lead to Cleveland, but I feel like that had more to do with the offensive inefficiency than the defensive breakdowns at the end of the game against Joe Flacco. So, Carm, I thought you were going to jump in there, Carm. I saw you.
No. I was waiting for you to come to a logical conclusion, and you said
I was going to land the plane. Plane.
It's all right. You put on your what's his name? Fine movie where he lands in the Hudson.
I forget Phillips, right?
No,
not Captain Phillips.
I don't think it was Captain Phillips. That's terrible. Swifties. Who is it? Any rate, doesn't matter. Somebody will give it. Who was the pilot in that movie? Please tell me. While I'm trying to think of it, I want to let you know that CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. I'm about to drink 3 of them. Sully, that is correct. Sully. What did he call him? Captain Phillips. That's amazing. Chicago's beer. Was it the guy was it that Hanks on the boat that got
yeah. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, no, Sully. Hank. Captain Phillips. Chicago's beer since 1988. The beer roster, you know it, you love it. Oktoberfest, the Beer Hug family, 312 Wheat Ale, the Full Pocket Pills. Grab your ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
I have to tell everybody about DraftKings. NFL fans, it's time to unwrap nonstop football action this holiday season. Throw down on big matchups with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on the NFL and score 150 instantly in bonus bets. And there's some enticing props I was looking at on the DraftKings app. And I'm looking at Justin Fields and Kyler Murray rushing props. You can get Fields for over 56.5 rushing yards for -115, and Kyler Murray for over 31.5 rushing yards for -120. But you get the first Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now with the code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 on NFL action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. The crown is yours. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLING or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 46369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 160 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources.
Whew. Good job.
Hello, I am your tank commander here to finish this show in the final segment of the thing that I'm only paying attention to the rest of the year. I don't care. I'm commandeering this segment. Don't slap your head, Carm, because this is important stuff. Here is the tank watch and what you need to know here as we head to the weekend. You got a couple games on Saturday. You got games on Sunday, Christmas Eve, obviously. The Bears right now, and especially after last night with the Rams win, the strength of schedule now favors the Bears when in regards to the Panthers. And if the season ended today, the Panthers would be the number one pick. If they tied right now, as Carm falls asleep, then the Panthers would, if their record is the same because of strength of schedule, we'll just take Carm off. Don't look at these guys just left me. I don't care. I'll do this segment by myself. So because the Rams won yesterday, the strength of schedule changes. So right now, the Panthers, as it stands right now, the Panthers would have to win 2 of their final 3 games for that pick to not be the number one pick. These are things to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. We are rooting here this weekend. Tomorrow, we are rooting for the Steelers over the Bengals. That's a big, important game. We've got a lot of different things when it comes to strength of schedule that I just want you guys to keep in mind. All the different clinching scenarios are interesting when you break those down, Mark, because once upon a time, so like it goes strength of schedule, then division, then conference. And right now it appears that Carolina holds all the different tiebreakers after strength of schedule. This is interesting stuff because I want both of you to guess what if all the different tiebreakers, there's like 6 of them. What is the final tiebreaker that decides who's going to get the first pick? Do either of you know this? And Mark, you should know this as an old timer.
I have no idea anything you just said, to be honest. I completely checked out.
The final tiebreaker is a coin flip. If they're tied in strength of schedule, tied in division, tied in conference, and then there's like one more after that. The final one is a coin flip. And why is that important to Bears fans? Because once upon a time, the Bears lost a coin flip for the rights to Terry Bradshaw. And what would the trajectory of the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise versus the Chicago Bears franchise? And it came down to a coin flip. So you guys can laugh at this stuff all you want, but this is important stuff to end the year. And you can just be the Schwarsky, and I'm just going to pay attention to the Bears. But these are important things for the implications of the Chicago Bears franchise for years to come. So
was that Chuck Swirsky? Was that Chuck Swirsky or Dave Swirsky? That was Dave Swirsky.
That's Bill Swirsky.
Bill Swirsky. Okay. Hey, Greg, I got a Christmas present for you.
What?
All right.
You're leaving?
No. But you have to answer a trivia question for me to give it to you. You ready?
Okay, I'll try.
Where did DJ Moore go to college?
Where did DJ Moore go to college? I don't know.
Where? Okay, you got one more chance. Where? Maryland. Where did Khalil Herbert go to college? Virginia Tech. I don't have to give you a present.
shit.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I did. I did know that one. It just took me a second.
Okay. Well, next time you'll be a little quicker. And I did the clock on you, ding, and because I don't have a present for you, and I would have to go buy one if you had gotten it, and I'm sure you would have gotten it in the next 12 seconds. But you'll be having class with Gary Ross as your president. Actually, you will be showing up at Gary's, and you'll be sitting down, and he will whiteboard it for you where they all went, and you'll have to score 90% on all the colleges that Bears went to, and then you can graduate the class.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I'm happy to hang out with Gary anytime. That's not a punishment. And shout out to BA717. He knew the answer. And so did Good Pokemon. Pokemon Prophet also knew. Carm didn't know. TB17 knew. Carm didn't know. Carm, you were alive and well covering the Bears when this happened. So I don't know how you forgot.
I should have known. It's a bad job by me. Horrible. Absolutely pathetic. Hey, where did Tyson Bagent go to college?
Oh, I forget. I don't care. Why do you keep asking me these things?
Shepherd. Swinging in from
West Virginia. Okay. I don't care. I know he was a Shepherd. Why are you hitting me with all this stuff?
Because it's Friday. It's a fun Friday show or whatever the hell we're doing. All right. This is the preview show, and we went a little off the rails. Nick, do you have anything else you want to say before we leave here? Happy Merry to everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the holiday, and I'm actually going to head up to House Hall right now. So, do we have any super chats or anything that we got to do?
Yes, we actually do. That's a good point. We have a $5 super chat from Ian Hamilton. I feel like Kellen Moore could be a good fit for JF1 in Chicago next year, but I haven't heard any talk about that as an offensive coordinator or a head coach. Your guys' thoughts?
Where's Kellen Moore? Is
the Chargers, right?
Chargers, yeah. I don't know.
He was definitely a hot name when he came out of Dallas. If they do decide to keep Matt Eberflus, whether it's Fields or, one of these rookie quarterbacks, I do think it's going to be an intriguing destination for offensive coordinators for two reasons. One, the Bears are starting to climb, so it gives you an opportunity to get, head coach considerations. And two, if you're coming to a team where Matt Eberflus is somewhat still on the hot seat and things to prove, and you're the offensive coordinator, you might be able to jump the line in that regard as well. So I think that is something where some offensive coordinators will consider coming here.
It's a real interesting question, actually, because if you do move on, who is coming in here with confidence that it's a good job? So it'll be a little tricky little dance. All right, Nick's got to go. Braggs, you're going to end on a win here. Where did Justin Fields go to college?
Oh, just shut up. Ohio State.
There it is. Victory, baby. Go Cats. And Boiler.
All right.
Damn it. All right. Hey, Greg, for real, thank you for producing. Nick,
you got it.
Appreciate you having me. Everybody in the chat. Love you, as per always.
We'll get Will back next Friday. We promise.
Thank God we'll have Will back next Friday. We'll see you for pregame at 2:00 on Sunday, Christmas Eve. And then for a shorter post-game show afterwards. So, yes, we're respecting the holiday, but we are working too, so we'll be here. Everybody enjoy your weekend, and thanks for checking out the Friday preview extravaganza. Say bye, Nick.
Adios, you guys.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.